A gracious good day to one and all. 'Tis I, Norton the First, by grace of God, Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico, back at you with episode 39 of Emperor Norton's fantastic history vlog. Today is May 8, 2020. Well, let's start off with today's San Francisco highlight, taken once again from this wonderful book by John Ralston, This Day in San Francisco. And in 1965, Mayor Jack Shelley concedes defeat in the Topless entertainment cases. He came into office in 1964 and faced one storm after another. Civil rights demonstrations at the Palace Hotel, the Van Ness Avenue automobile dealerships, freeway expansion, numerous other things. But he really came out against topless dancing, which was invented by Carol Doda at the Condor Club in 1964. He said the topless bathing suit is at the bottom of all of our city's ills, to paraphrase him there. The chorus was joined by the Hearst newspaper, The Examiner, saying that toplessness attracts, quote, punks, muggers, cutthroats, and molesters. Now, the police had a different take on this. In early 1965, Captain Charles Barca of the Central Station told the supervisors that the area had a relatively low crime rate, not one purse snatching in 1965. But his view was overruled, and on the evening of April 22nd, Shelley told the University of San Francisco's annual alumni meeting at the Fairmont Hotel, "Even as I speak to you, an invasion of North Beach night spots is underway." Well, they raided a number of the clubs, including the Condor. Herb Cain weighed in on it, saying, "What's with this, Shelley?" and whispered one officer to another. "First he tells us we can't arrest these gals because it's against the law. Then he tells us to crack down." And Shelley, in his defense, issued a statement, "I want it clearly understood that this administration is not against fun in San Francisco. Fun is part of our city's heritage." The raids were a test case, went to court, and were thrown out by two judges. Among the lawyers involved were, let's see here, well, Vincent Hallahan, the son of the flamboyant lawyer Patrick Hallahan, and of course Melvin Belli, who we talked about in a previous vlog. Well, they prevailed. Judge Friedman said the test is not what a couple of people feel. The test is what the people of San Francisco feel. This is a free country, and I think we have the right to choose what we want to read and see. Nobody's pulling anyone's arms and legs to drag them into these places in North Beach. Judge Lazarus also said, the defense offered uncontradicted testimony that Ms. Doda's act did not violate community standards of decency. Well, on this date, the mayor conceded defeat, and topless dancing was once again part of North Beach. Well, let's get on to today's highlights in history, shall we? 1541, Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto and his expedition discovered the Mississippi River. You know, I think it was already there, but I guess that was so important they named a car after him at least. 1784, the only known deaths by hailstones in the U.S. in Winnsboro, South Carolina. Who knew? I didn't. 1792, British Captain George Vancouver sights and names Mount Rainier. Of course, it already had a name. The Native Americans named it Tahoma. 1792, the U.S. establishes the military draft. 1835, the first installment of Hans Christian Andersen's Fairy Tales is published in Copenhagen, Denmark. 1877, the first Westminster Dog Show is held. 1945, today is VE Day, the surrender of Germany in World War II. 1958, U.S. Vice President at the time, Richard Nixon, is shoved, stoned, booed, and spat upon by protesters in Peru. 1970, the Beatles release Let It Be, their last album released, but not their last album recorded. That was Abbey Road, which was released previously. That's a long story we don't need to go into right now. Births today, 1884, former President Harry S. Truman. Here's your trivia questions for today. What's the S stand for in Harry S. Truman? 1911, blues singer and guitarist Robert Johnson. 1922, births in the world of art, designer Saul Bass and Tom of Finland. 1926, Mr. Warmth himself, Don DeLuise. 1940, Ricky Nelson. Also 1940, Tony Tennille of the Captain and Tennille. 1942, Motorhead Sherwood of the Mothers of Invention. 1951, Chris France of Talking Heads. Happy birthday, Chris. And 1961, New York Mayor Bill de Blasio. Deaths today, King Kamehameha of Hawaii. In 1819, 1873, John Stuart Mill, who of his own free will, on half a pint of shandy, was particularly ill. Hello, Bruce. 1903, painter Paul Gauguin. Gauguin? I think I pronounced that right. 1904, Edward Muybridge, the inventor of motion pictures. 1943, Mordecai Anashlowitz, the Jewish commander of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. 1994, actor George Peppard, Breakfast at Tiffany's, The A-Team. I love it when a plan comes together. 1909, Dom DiMaggio, brother of course, Hall of Famer Joe DiMaggio, raised here in San Francisco. They all were, all the DiMaggios were. And oddly enough, although he was an exemplary baseball player, he has never been inducted in the Baseball Hall of Fame. We need to do something about that. 2012, Maurice Sendak, author and, of course, illustrator of Where the Wild Things Are. And in 2018, former governor of California, George Deukmejian, passed away. Well, that wraps it up for today. Until we talk again, stay safe, stay healthy, stay inside. If you're going outside, wear a mask. Don't be a fool. And be kind to each other. And don't forget to join us over the weekend for a special with, once again, the Countess Lola Montez of Landsfeld. Until we see you again, a good day to one and all.